Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're going to cover the great slide-mounted safety debate. If you tune into YouTube and watch a lot of videos, you'll find a lot of people telling you why slide-mounted safeties suck. Why the Beretta's a great pistol, except for the slide-mounted safety. I'd love that pistol, except it's got a slide-mounted safety. Well, the purpose of this video is to tell you why all those people are wrong. And how am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to go grab an AR-15 rifle and show you why slide-mounted safeties on a Beretta are just fine. Okay, you've just heard me utter the statement that I'm going to show you that slide-mounted safeties aren't a problem. I'm going to grab an AR-15 to prove out why. Okay, that's a pretty bold statement, but here's why. Slide-mounted safeties, be they on Berettas, Smith & Wessons, even old German P-38s, are just fine because it's a manual of arms issue. It's not a firearm design issue. It's not an inherent flaw of the system, it's a training scar. In the link below, I've put a link to Stage 6 of Desert Brutality 2019. In Stage 6, after you completed the rifle portion, you ran to another bay and there was a pistol portion. You had 16 steel targets you had to engage. I was using a Beretta M9 with a 15-round magazine. Hence, even though I shot well, when I got to the last target, I was out of bullets. I reload, and as you'll see, I go to fire, rack the slide, go to fire, rack the slide, and then it dawns on me. Take the safety off, dumbass, and then I engage the last target.
It's not that big of a deal. Especially, this stuff's all stainless and stuff, it's not going to rust from a little bit of water. And they rain super humid, and when I was putting the salt water on it,
Out of force of habit, I put the safety on when I dumped the magazine, and I forgot to take it off when it was time to shoot again. And I applied immediate reaction drill. Now, if you believe everything on the internet, that what would happen in real life would be is that my slide lock backed, I slammed the magazine, and then when I reached up to slingshot it, I would go ahead and activate the safety, and then I'd be pulling and not realizing, and I'd get killed in the streets. Well, I made a training error. I had been training on striker-fired pistols for a while. I had just switched over to practicing to the M9 right before the competition, and under the stress of the clock where everything goes wrong, I forgot to reactivate the safety, and I went through an immediate action drill instead of just flipping the safety off, and cost me several seconds because of that. That's a shooter fault. That's not a fault of the pistol. It's not an inherent design flaw. It's a different manual of arms. Here's where the AR-15 comes in to show how the manual of arms matters. Here's how using an AR-15 shows the manual of arms issue with the Beretta M9. Alright, so here we are. My finger is on the selector lever and I want to move it to fire. I flip it down to fire. I can then fire the rifle. When I want to put it back on safe, rotate it back on safe. Now, let's say I'm using an AR-15, but I've trained on an AK-47. Now, on an AR-15, safety on, safety off, safety on, safety off. If that was an AK-47, I could stand here all day long, flip this side of receiver, and nothing would happen, because if this was an AK, the safety would be here. Now, vice versa here, I want to put this weapon on safe. Just put it on safe, actually. I want to take this weapon off safe. Let's do it like an AK-47. Nothing, because the safeties are in different places. Here's another example. I've just removed the magazine by pressing the magazine release button. Fairly easy. If this was an AK-47, I couldn't do that. I could touch that area of the rifle all day long. Hence, if I try to unload this rifle like an AK-47, I cannot, because there's no flapper lever here. AK-47s and AR-15s have completely different manual of arms. All the people who sit there and say that a slide-mounted safety lever is a detriment or a design flaw are Glock guys. Okay, here we have the pistol and its condition it would be in if it just ran dry. The magazine is empty, the slide is locked back, the safety is still off. Now in theory, if I slam a new magazine in and I go like this, I intentionally did it at a time, the safety goes on and you're trying to fire and can't. Okay, well, if you use the pistol like a Glock, that's what's going to happen. It's not a Glock. It's not a 1911. It's a Beretta. Okay, you use it by the intended manual of arms. Right there where my thumb is an extended slide release. You're supposed to put the magazine in and release the slide. And look at that. Safety's still off. Show you again. Safety didn't go on. If you use the pistol as it's intended to be used, it won't be a problem. There, you can decock it when you're done and holster up. Or continue firing. It's a manual of arms issue. You do not put a magazine into an AR-15 the same way you do with an AK-47. You don't remove this magazine from an AR-15 the same way you do an AK-47. You do not apply the safety on an AK-47 the way you do on an AR-15 style rifle. Hence, the same thing applies to slide-mounted safety pistols. You do not rack the slide the same way. You have to use the slide release lever. That's how they were designed to be used. They were not designed to be slingshotted like a 1911 or a Glock. If you do all your training around that style of releasing your slide, well then yeah, slide mounted safety pistols are not going to be the pistol for you. It does not make them inherently flawed pistols. It's not an inherently flawed design. It's simply a different manual of arms. We hope you found this video about slide-mounted safeties helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future firearms operation videos.